Hi there, it's Friday. Welcome back to Waxing On. Today we're looking at a folk musician, singer-songwriter. We've talked about him a few times in some of the other shows, and we're just going to feature a couple of his albums today. These are the ones I have in my collection. Now, if you're new to the show, I'm not recommending what I consider the best albums people are putting out. I'm not judging one over the other. Basically, I'm just going through my record collection and pulling out what I have and kind of sharing what's there for you to check out yourself, maybe find somebody that you've never heard of before and you really might enjoy their work, or to go back and revisit someone you'd forgotten about. So basically what I'm presenting to you is my album collection. And today I've got two albums by singer-songwriter Willie P Bennett. Now, we've talked about Willie P back when I did the episode on folk festivals, some of the ones I'd gone to, and I'd seen him at folk festivals in the mid-'70s. We talked about him during the Colleen Peterson episode. He wrote a couple of great tunes that she covered, Music in Your Eyes and Trying to Start Out Clean. And these were just classic songs that he did. He also did a lot of work playing mandolin and harmonica guitar as a backup player for other musicians as well. But he had a couple of times he stepped out and recorded. And these albums are on his own label, so he had a little more control over what he was putting out. And the first album was Trying to Start Out Clean. Pull back so you can get a look at that. And very kind of sparse production. It all sounds great. It sounds like that band could be in your living room playing. We've got Willie P Bennett on guitar, Dennis Pendrith on bass, Bill Usher on drums, Chris Whitley and Ken Whitley on harmonica and trumpet, and Ken on piano, organ, lead guitar. And the Whitley brothers were really, again, very well familiar with people in the folk festival era, or circuit at that time. Zeke Mazarek on fiddle, Dennis LePage banjo, Ron Dan pedal steel, David Essick, another well-known name up here, mandolin, rhythm guitar. Oh, we're getting a call in. Maybe that's a request for something. We'll just hold on and see. Let's find out.
Hello? It is.
No, I don't think they want. They said, hey, way to go on Willie P. They're glad they were finally covering his material, so that's nice to know. Well, it's great that we got somebody on there. And again, if anybody wants to chime in, you want to make a comment, join right in. We're just going to take a pause here for a minute. We'll break back. Welcome back. Yeah, I just checked in on that. It was actually a question somebody had about digital music of Willie P's, because a lot of times we just do the albums. And he does have one album out available digitally online or like at the iTunes store, and it's a band called The Lucky Ones. And I think it's about the only one of his that actually made it so it can be streamed or purchased as a digital download. And a lot of new tunes. He does one of the songs off this album, actually the title song is Trying to Start It Clean. I listened to the new album, or that album, and to me it just sounded a little overproduced. It sounded like it was too slick. It didn't have that raw energy, that kind of rawness and personality that these albums had. So it is out there. If I know you're not going to be able to find these albums probably, so glad they brought that up. Yeah, digital copy. There is one out there that you can check out. Some excellent music. It's just a little bit different from here. Again, a little more production goes into it. Now, let's go back where we were on here. Phil Sheridan, engineer on this one. Now, Phil Sheridan, you remember we mentioned him during the Ed Bickert, Rob McConnell episode of the jazz one, where he was kind of in the background there putting that music together. So he's a very well-known name in Toronto. And it was recorded in Toronto. Willie P is born in Toronto. And again, we're getting back to that Toronto thing, aren't we? Always coming around. Give you some idea of the songs that are on here. Driftin' Snow, White Line, Don't Blame Your Blues on Me, Country Squall, and In a Prayer. My Pie, again, one of my favorites here, Music in Your Eyes. Just a great song. iTunes, great place to check that tune out if you can. Down to the Water, Willie's Diamond Joe, Trying to Start Out Clean, and a reprise of Driftin' Snow. Great album produced by David Essex, and it is on Woodshed Records, his first album. Now, we followed that up with another one on Woodshed, Willie P Bennett and Hobo's Taunt. See if I can get that in there so you can get a look at it. And more of the same kind of sound, the same kind of production, and again, it's a very personalized, very almost like you're in your living room listening to them kind of sound. Tunes on this one: Come On Train, Lace Some Pretty Flowers, and that was a big hit for Willie. Storm Clouds, Hobo's Taunt, Stealing Away. A Woman Never Knows, Lonely One-Car Funerals, If You Have to Choose, You and Faces. Now this one, not a lot of information on who was recording. David Essex still producing the album. Willie P Bennett writing all the words and music. And again on Woodshed, Posterity Records. Now, Willie P Bennett was living in Peterborough for a long time and doing a lot of work around Toronto and out in Ontario. Now, he passed away quite a few years ago now, heart attack. Actually, he was playing a gig on one of the festivals and had the heart attack while he was playing and still kept playing until the set was over, if you can imagine. And then had to go to the hospital. But unfortunately, that was what caused his death, was a heart condition. So we've only got a few albums. There was a third one came out, called Blackie and the Rodeo King, and was a little slicker than this, but it actually spawned another group to take up the name and kind of a tribute band to Willie P Bennett, as well as they branched out and done some work of their own. So he had a few albums. I'm going to just say 7 albums out there. The lucky ones, there's actually 2 versions of it. It was released twice. The songs are a little different. The sounds are a little different. But that was one of the few albums. 7 albums altogether. Only digital release. Certainly well worth checking out if you can. Unfortunately, you can't get to those first 2 albums, but if you go back on YouTube, you'll find some of these performances. And again, the songs that Colleen Peterson covered, just excellent work. He was a gifted songwriter. He had a unique style in performing, and he certainly was a joy to see whenever you got a chance to catch him live. So that's it for today. A little more Canadiana. We got Willie P Bennett's Trying to Start Out Clean, his debut album, and his second album, Hobo's Taunt. Okay, I hope everybody has a good weekend. It's still snowing here, so unfortunately winter's not quite over yet, but hopefully not too much more before we start getting into spring. Till then, we'll see you Monday when we're back with jazz. Take care, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by.